Hey guys, so once again we are back with videos, back talking about One Piece. I've been busy lately, so I haven't put out much videos, but you know what? That time of, putting out one video a week, not even a video in a week, it's over for now, and we're back on track with uploading multiple videos every week. And I want to talk about something which I wanted to make a video about, but I was busy and stuff happened, and so I was like, I don't know if I can even have time to make this video, but seeing what happened this last chapter, chapter 1002, made me think, you know what, maybe I should make this video. So once again, before I really get into all these things of defeating Kaido, how it's gonna happen, who's gonna do it, how it's gonna go down on the rooftop, please, if you haven't already, if it's your first time here, please subscribe. If you keep coming back watching videos, might as well subscribe, right? No point not to. And as well, if you're unsure if this contains spoilers for you, I do put a spoiler tag down below in the description so you know whether this is safe or not. But anyway, getting down to it, right? I'm pretty sure some stuff are obvious. Now, coming up to the rooftop, the people had many questions, and maybe after this chapter, you can kind of see how it's going down, kind of see how it's not working. But maybe you're just not sure, and maybe my opinion is going to help you a bit, or at least let you see something maybe you never thought of before. Now, first things first, damaging Kaido, I think there's many stages to that, and I think that I think a lot of people are caught up in the giving Kaido a scar level of damaging Kaido. Yes, level of damaging Kaido. I think there's many different levels, and once you've gained a technique or a skill, whatever, you can damage him, but it's not always going to be spitting blood kind of damage, right? There's lots of arguing over whether Zoro and Killer's attack in chapter 1001 was actually damaging Kaido or not. Some people said it's not, some people said it is. Based on the way the official translated it, it seems like it is. Like, it has to be. Like, of course, that's very low on the spectrum, but it's damage, so we take it, right? A lot of these other attacks kind of keep saying they're damaging me. These guys keep commending their attack, so it has to be doing something. Now, of course, once again, it's low damage. But it is damage. So let's not fight that. Now, another thing is that, of course, I will start with Luffy and Zoro first, because those are like the two most obvious ones. But Haki and Rio, because something which I never really thought too much about, even though it was being said, especially on Joy Boy's channel. Wow, Joy Boy, been pushing this for a while, is the whole idea of the fact that using Advanced Rio is like a double-edged sword, basically. And, it gives you damage as well as, giving the other person significant damage, and those are the kind of stakes in terms of learning this technique really quickly and all that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't say that I'm on that level of on board with that. I would say I'm more of a level where I think just using Haki in general takes up stamina, especially after this chapter, because after Zoro did that attack where even Kaido had to dodge, and we'll get to that, we see Zoro and he's kind of like landing and he's wheezing heavily. Like, he's like, right? So clearly, like, he's been affected as well. So, I mean, it's a bit sad that his attack was wasted, but he's been affected, and I think that that's what's going to actually be. I don't think you actually take damage using Rio. I think it just takes a lot of stamina to actually use the attacks. So that's one thing I'll say there. Now, jumping straight into this, because I've taken a long time with these preliminary things, but Luffy, of course, is going to use Advanced Rio, and that's how he's going to damage Kaido. But how do I think it's going to play out when it comes to really consistently doing significant damage? Because right now he's doing damage, but it's not that much. But consistently doing damage, I feel like we're in for a new kind of attack or form, right? Either like a bound man, different form. I don't think Gear 5. I don't think Awakening. None of that. But a new kind of, either a new, I don't know what people be calling a Gear 4th Tiger Man, if you want. Or some kind of variant of Gear 4 which we've never seen. Or really an attack. Should I say an attack? Yeah, a variation of an attack. So like a King Organ, right? But like a Rio based one. So it's slightly different. Very different. But I'm leaning more on the new form. Or he'll modify, for example, Snake Man, I don't know, King Cobra. I don't, something like that. And that will be, because at the end of the day, I know some people will get new forms, some people won't. But I think Luffy will have probably that, because he'll have a moment where he's going head to head, and it's a Yonko, so I figure he has to have some special power up of some kind, And new form seems appropriate for that. Now, moving on to Zoro really quickly. And Zoro, again, another guy who is, it's real. It's, the advanced haki, advanced armament haki. And I think for Zoro, based on chapter 1002, it's very clear that he already has an attack that Kaido has to dodge. He's not got, like, do I think Kaido can tank that? Yes, I 100% believe that. I don't think that attack would even take off Kaido's head. No. But I do believe that that would have done significant damage. Because Kaido was probably thinking about taking that head on. Like, give me your best shot. And that would have damaged him a lot. But because he... I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it would have been it would be a bit short of Oden's Scar. That level of strength. A bit short of that. But somewhere near that. Approaching that, right? Somewhere approaching that. And that's why Big Mom told him move. Because, my dude, if you take that, this fight will be very short. So, but at the same time, I think that if Kaido actually stood to Zoro's attack and defended himself, used haki, it would have done, like, not as much damage. Probably the most damage we've seen to Kaido so far in this fight. Or maybe, like, I don't know. I don't know how much damage Killer's attack did, but maybe that amount. And also, another thing I'd like to note is that Zoro's attack was so strong, and it's not even paired with one of these Buddhist things that Zoro likes to say. So I'd like to see him pair with that, you know. Either a Ashura plus that, I don't know, incorporated it with it. Or, you know, when Zoro gives his speech, you know, I don't know, what was it? 7 mountains, 9 seas, something, there's nothing I can't cut. You know, something like that. Once it's paired with something like that, then that's a new level of technique from Zoro. So I believe that whatever Zoro is going to pull out, which will really, like, push him all the way to the end, like, in this fight, like, his big moment will involve some kind of attack like that, where it's like, all his Rio mustered up in some kind of Buddhist something as well, or religious if you want, Hinduism something, and that's going to be the attack. How do I think Zoro is going to do it? Of course, I've made a video about ZKK. You can go watch that video. I don't think he's going to kill Kaido. No. But I do think he'll have a critical role. The best example I could give you is I could see it happening the way, if you've watched Black Clover, the way this saga ends with the first main saga of the story, really, with the elves and the demon thingy and the devil who's like, yeah, in that saga. If you haven't watched, if you're watching and you're still catching up and you don't want to get spoiled, like, you can just skip a bit ahead. But, and those of you who don't care or have watched, there's a moment where Yami is like near the end, you know, he unleashes the attack with, what's her face? Charlotte. They're on a different floor, and he does his dimension slash, which cuts Demon in half at a critical moment in the fight. Of course, the fight still goes to the main character in the end, like Asta, and he does his final attack, and, you know, one last thing with the demon, does the final hit, finishes the demon off, but Yami still played an important, integral role at that moment in the fight. And I think that's the way Zoro's gonna, you know, have a contribution, a major contribution in this fight. And I don't think that attack is gonna cut Kaido in half like it did the demon, but I think it's gonna be a super effective slash, and it's gonna do more damage probably than that scar that Oden left did. Right, to prove that he's surpassed Oden's level back then, right, to kind of give us a scale of where Zoro is in the One Piece world. But I do think that Zoro will have that kind of impact. Now, moving quickly to Killer. Now, let's go first to Kid. Now, another thing about this is I made a video talking about how Kid is strong, because people underrated him and, like, the Kid parts for the longest time. But you can go watch that video. But main idea is that I believe that there is a very high possibility, not definite because Oda hasn't said it, but a very high possibility that Kid fought against Cracker in Whole Cake Island, right? Just, you know, mainly he fought as Sweet Commander. Based on his strength and portrayal against Luffy, I don't think it would be someone like Karakuri, or, you know, someone as weak as Snack, leaving someone in the middle. Then again, both of them have the scars over their eyes, you know, talking about people who fight each other. Look at Tamago and Pedro, who had their eyes missing. Of course, it didn't happen exactly like they took each other's eyes, but yeah, there's stuff. And based on that, right, Kid and his I'll crush Kaido, as much as that sounds like, what do you mean, right? Kid saying that he did fight Cracker, not fight, saying that he did do that would mean that Kid had a way to crush Cracker's biscuits. Huh, crushing biscuits. Okay. He did have a way to crush Cracker's biscuits. So there's something to do with his ability to, overpower you by crushing you. Like, there's something there. I don't think it's as flat or plain as, just do it. I mean, you could also think of it as like the way Luffy defeated Don Krieg, right? His armor, like he just kept hitting it like in one position, and after a while, after enough hits, it gave way. So maybe like Kid could have a moment like that where it's like Kaido keeps getting hit with people's attacks, and after enough hits from Kid, it'll just give way. Because maybe Kaido just keeps hitting Kid's armor, but like because it's magnetized, it just keeps coming back. So as much as you're hitting, Kid's form, it keeps coming back because of its nature, and it just keeps pounding you over and over and over again. Maybe it's a bit more than that, right? But I do believe that Kid has a way in which he can utilize his devil fruit really well in this situation to crush Kaido genuinely. Now, looking at Killer, what I was going to say before chapter 1002 was that Killer would have some other technique, maybe involving some haki, but I don't think he'd have a advanced armament haki kind of awakening and into the fight, continuing. I thought it would be another technique, which, is very obvious from the One Piece series. Like, I feel like that would be the safest way to go. Because, we have other stuff apart from the regular haki and devil fruit, right? We have Rokushiki, we have whatever the Happo Navy use, we have Fishman Karate, and these are very effective stuff, as we've seen. So I believe that Killer, I was gonna say, I believe Killer would have his own move, his own kind of technique of fighting. But, it's already been there. In chapter 1002, we saw Killer do his Sonic Scythe. I don't know what the translation is going to call it, but for now, the official's not out, so Sonic Scythe is what we'll go with. And that, I'm not quite sure if it's sound-based. I mean, that would make sense as to why he understood Apu's attack really well, because he also used sound, but it seemed like it did some damage, right? It did quite some significant damage, probably the most in this past chapter. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the most. But there's some technique. It doesn't seem to use Ryo because his blades were still shining. They weren't all black. But yeah, Killer has his something. And I believe that Killer, utilizing whatever ultimate technique this Sonic Scythe thing encompasses is going to be what makes him effective. And probably I feel like he would probably fight against Big Mom later on in this fight and hold her off. Being a first mate, wanting to help his captain fight Kaido and focus on her, seeing that she's a hindrance, I feel like he'll probably move to her, focus more on her. But that's not what I'm talking about that much in this chapter, and I feel like his attack will work on both of them. But that's not really the focus of this video. Last but not least, we have Trafalgar D. Water Law, and I was gonna mention this, but it just seems more obvious now about his Gamma Knife, right? Gamma Knife is one of the strongest internal, it's the strongest one that we've seen as far as internal damage, and I knew this. But no one thought it would come this early. Now, I didn't know it would come this early either, but I knew it would come sooner than we thought, because I believe that Law will find some way to use his Devil Fruit, either that he just hasn't shown us, or that he's kind of thought up as, since Dressrosa, in which he can use an attack like Gamma Knife, less as one-off and more as a form, if you will, right? So where it's like the Gamma Knife is always on his sword, it's always just imbued with Gamma Knife. Or, I have no idea, but he can put Gamma Knife on other objects, right? So it's 1,000, I don't know, rocks hitting you with Gamma Knife effect, just a bit on the inside and doing little damage to you over and over again, like attrition. Instead of just one stab Gamma Knife, right? So it's going to be more of a form where something he can repeat over and over as he's fighting. Of course, final resort, he gets totally finished after it, but something like that is how I believe Law would be able to be effective. Now, once again, at the end, who do I think is going to get all the credit? Straw Hats. Luffy's going to be the one with the final bro against Kaido. He's going to be the one who does it in the end. Zoro will have his critical moment just before that, just towards the last leg of the fight before the Luffy versus Kaido. He'll have his significant moment where, boom, he does more damage to Kaido than even Oden himself to shock Kaido. Because I don't think that Oda wants Zoro to be at Oden's level. I think he wants him to surpass him, so I think he'll do even more damage than he did. But yeah, those are basically my thoughts. I feel like Kid and Killer. Kid will have Kaido. Killer might have some feats against Big Mom. So will Law. But that's kind of it in the way I think it will go. down. But yeah guys, that's just the end of this video. This took way longer than I thought. When I planned this out, I thought it would take like 8 minutes, but here we are, over 15 minutes later. And this is, yeah, that's kind of how I think it would go down. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think that, you know, a lot of what I've said is probably what may happen? Do you think it's maybe not what may happen, but seems attractive and exciting? If you disagree as well, tell me why. I mean, if you disagree about ZKK, go comment on the ZKK video. Don't really comment here, right? This one's more about the power-ups, right? More than the ZKK. So, apart from that, tell me what you think, how it's gonna go down. Who do you think will play integral role in taking down Kaido, or in taking down Big Mom, or if Big Mom will go down at all, right? Like, let me know so that we can also, you know, continue the discussion, and who will be the most useful, who will be the least useful. And I'm not talking about the way the world will perceive it, but the way it will actually go down. So yeah guys, as always, please like the video if you liked, subscribe if you want more content like this. If you know someone who needs to hear the truth about everything, about the way the arc is gonna go, please share this video with them. If you have time, watch one more of my other videos. If not, thank you for watching this video all the way to the end guys. This is King KZ, and I'll see you in the next one.